What up, y'all? Back with the white box, 28s. Billet Specialties, Phantom. Full polish. They're not machined. They're just straight polished. Haven't checked the center cap yet. I know there's a guy that commented. He said the wheels were big and hideous or something. There's still a center cap to go on there, but yes, they are big wheels. Here we are. We have the back set up. I know I messed up and didn't get another video in between here, but the anti-roll is set. The ride height is all set. Anti-roll tabs are welded to the rear end there. So with what I was saying in part one, you put the brackets on the anti-roll tab on the top, bolt them to it, and then you tack them to the cross brace. Where you put the cross brace and where you put that, along as all this is on a little bit of a down angle because ride height will be up a little bit higher than here. So you want this to be at a 90 degree. You don't want this to be pointing up. You don't want it to be pointing down at ride height. You want it to be damn near a 90 degree. Back in place around here, I do not use the e-brake setup on them because there's no point. When was the last time you had an e-brake on an automatic that you actually used? We don't use them. No sense in carrying them around with you and having all the bracketry back here. So, lower control arms. These are double adjustable, so when you guys are putting these in, what you want to do is you thread both ends all the way in. One is reverse thread, but you thread them both all the way in. You set them in the car side, and then you can twist, hold the one end and twist it until you get it in here on this side. Or just make sure both sides are all the way in and bolted in. Then you can adjust it farther out to where you want. Same thing with the uppers, because you got the double adjustment right there. So screw them all the way in, and that way both sides are all the way in, so when you adjusting it out, both sides adjust out evenly. A lot of guys end up putting these in and this side to be sticking out, the other side to be in, and then when you try to adjust it, you can only go so far and the rear ends get tweaked. This one, the uppers, so this box Chevy 4-door for 28s, the uppers are at 11 and a quarter right now, from center of that front bolt to center of the bolt on the housing. The bottoms are 21 3/4. No, excuse me, 22 3/8. Where they're set to. But yep, coilovers are in there. The bracket, I do have a little bit of a slant on it. It's 86 degrees of an angle. So it's just past 9, just short of 90 a little bit. And the reason why is because the upper tabs for the upper shocks are the short ones. So the upper part of the shock is farther forward. So if I would have had a longer set of tabs, the welding tabs for the top of the shock up here, then I would have been back more, then these would have been 90. You can have them a little off. It's just I see these guys out here with these brackets like on a hell of an angle back here. I've had to change a whole bunch of people's setups because they think they can weld these on an angle like this, and then when you have this bracket to the shock, when you're trying to adjust height, because remember, this is where you adjust your height. This is only within an inch or so, an inch at the most, both ways. That's it. You can't go no more than that. You can't take this and run it all the way up to here, because then you're just going to have a ride like a tank. The spring comes into play with the adjustments of this, but if everything's installed correctly, you can set the ride. This is a 250 spring on this car. By adjusting it to a shorter distance in between, you're making it a higher rate spring. By adjusting it that little bit lower that you can go, you're making it a lower rate spring. So when these guys are taking these and using this to adjust the height, Now they're making the car ride like shit, but you're overpowering the shock with the spring. So then your knobs are really not going to do much. This car has 812s in it, big ass box, obviously 812. So this car needs the 250, and it's set at 9 inches in between, which is where it's supposed to be set. So this one I might have to go to 8.5, 8.25 maybe, because of so much weight in the trunk. But we're gonna see. This placement here, these are not tight because I'm most likely going to move these up to probably about here, but I want to see where it sets now, which where it sets now will be tucked. Again, backing plates for the brakes are on there, all square. Make sure it goes on flush. That's on flush. About to throw the axles back in it. One axle has got some messed up studs. Somebody changed them to some new studs, and the new studs are just garbage. Probably not even a grade 5, but I have some other studs, so I'm gonna change it out. Same thing over here. Everything's in. Arms are set. So I still gotta fix these trim lips. So that'll be one of my final things that I do. But I'm going to get this thing all together. This is the axle I'm talking about with the janky studs in there. I believe I have another pack of studs, some good ones. And I always run the ET lug nuts, which I showed before. The ET lug nuts are extended thread. I could probably grab the rest of the ones for the front. Front is done. It is Saturday. And I'm trying to button this thing up so we can go bye-bye. More information on the ass end to set it all up. If you got some common knowledge, some common sense, a little bit of know-how, a little bit of welding experience, you should be able to set it up. And this is the right way to set everything up. Then you got these other guys that complain about exhaust. Oh, a well-done setup, you can't run exhaust. Well, this is the stock muffler. So you can see plenty of room to come up in between the anti-roll and the coilover. Between the coilover and the gas tank, plenty of room to run a tailpipe right underneath the frame rail to run pipes out the back. Same thing on this side. A little tighter, maybe right here to the gas tank, but this is a bubble tank in this car, which whatever. But if you have a good exhaust shop and they know how to bend, they're gonna bend it right through there, come right out, beyond the frame rail, right out the back of the car. So all that BS that you hear out there on the streets, all that background noise, oh, well then coilovers, you can't do this, oh, you can't do that, which is only a select few that wanna say that. Anything can be done, it's custom. So you don't go to a rinky-dink regular exhaust shop that just repairs exhaust and puts stock exhaust on. You want to go to a custom exhaust shop, somebody that knows how to do it custom application. So paint guys shouldn't be talking about suspension guys. Suspension guys shouldn't be talking about paint guys. You know, I don't talk bad about anybody's paint jobs, you know. That's their paint, whatever, this and that. Whoever they went to, they got what they paid for, stuff like that. But if somebody asks me about paint, I'm sorry. I don't know nothing about paint. Now, if you want to ask me about suspension, ask me about suspension, because I know all about suspension. So what I'm saying is, people out there are still running their mouths and want to call the customer and say this and say that and blah, blah, and whatever. I guess it's never going to stop. But you see what I'm doing over here? Anti-rolls in, cross members in, control arms are in. Everything's basically set. A mock-up set for right now once I get it to set down on the ground. I did notice, like I said, this side of the car is cut more than the passenger side of the car. So originally, like I said, when I cut it years ago, I cut the little bottom corner off the bottom. I didn't cut into here, but you can see that they cut into here, they moved all this. So this is this side. I'm gonna go to the passenger side. You can see that the car itself, the tack welds, spot welds of the original car, it's actually separated right here. But this is, well, yeah, this side's not cut. So I don't know if somebody replaced something, but this side didn't cut at all. So maybe when I originally did do it, I didn't cut anything. Because there's no cut to this side. And I wouldn't just cut one side. But you can see. So I'll go through and I'll try to fix this. So I'll cut the black a little bit. And I'll move this chrome, but this chrome's jacked up. And some missing screws right here. I'm not trying to pick it apart. I'm just saying what people are doing out there. And it's crazy. This car, back when I first did it, was a beautiful car. It was from the original owner. And now, you can see, they beat the living crap out of the toe. I use the air hammer, air chisel, air hammer with an air hammer bit, and I can stretch it a little bit, but there's no reason to on this car. They just had the rear end too far back. And by having the rear end too far back, they were beating the shit out of it. It has this light little rub mark here, which most likely was originally from when I had the 28s on it, the ballers. That little mark. But anyways, all right, y'all. Bankroll 10, better to Kustoms. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate hitting, y'all helped me hit 7,500 subscribers. The raffle, I, again, don't want to call it a raffle. Giveaway, full custom suspension giveaway. $45 entry fee. I was planning on doing it either when we get enough funds to take care of the whole build and the prizes. And the other part to it was to try to get to 10,000 subscribers. So if we hit 10,000 subscribers, or we hit the amount of money first needed to accommodate the giveaway, that's what we need to do. So not too many entries. I think we're only into about 20, 25 entries. So $45 entry for your chance to win a full custom suspension giveaway, which would be something like this, or even farther, like the GM that we're doing. Full tubs, full back frame, full bracing, everything. 15 prizes, some cash prizes, maybe some coilovers, some brackets, coilovers and brackets, some front coilovers, some front control arms, rear control arms. Whoever ends up winning the #1 prize, if you have, you know, the full suspension setup, and if you have a box Chevy and you just want to put some 28s on it and you got a regular offset like this car, we'll do that and give up some cash or whatever. So $45 entry fee, cash app's on in the description, and that's where we're at. Again, thank y'all, appreciate it, and I'll be back soon. Peace out.